Payload rewriting essentially allows us to manipulate the payload of web traffic that passes through the RxG. So we can replace content in a website. We can inject new content into the website as the client is browsing. And one of the things that allows us to do is either from an advertising perspective to replace or overlay advertisements on the page with our own advertisements. We also have the ability to do things like messaging to the users, where we have some little banner or block of text at the bottom of the page that we want to communicate to our users. So I've seen this used as sort of an emergency alert system where an operator can go in and just turn on this policy element to say, everyone in the system as they're browsing, they can see a message that gives them some kind of emergency notice that they need to pass on to all of the users. Again, if we're doing this, same rules apply in terms of HTTPS traffic. You've got, if you want to be manipulating the payload of an HTTPS packet, you have to be able to rewrite those, or to generate these certificates and have the client trust them. Otherwise, that's the whole job of SSL, is to make sure that you're not doing this kind of a thing, and you're not changing someone's content or doing this man-in-the-middle attack when you're not expecting. There's a few different kind of recipes that exist in here for doing overlays, like a virtual frame, as I mentioned. You can also just do a little bubble that will sit somewhere on the page, and then the add overlay element, which basically will look for specific, well-known advertisement sizes on the page, and basically overlay that with a floating window that the user could close out of and see the advertisement behind it, but you kind of get the ability to kind of force advertising to your users as they're browsing the network using your link. Which is so good.
Are those designed to work with the default RxG portal? Is that like how they're built? If we had a custom portal, would these things work properly?
So these are not tied to the portal really at all, because what this is doing is, let's say I'm going to CNN.com on my phone, manipulating that payload with new content. So it's doesn't really have any tie-in to what portal you're using. It will just inject whatever code you tell it to inject into the page. So some people do that for like AdSense stuff, or like different various like tracking stuff, that kind of thing. I will say that a lot of people tend to kind of shy away from this. People who are like tech savvy on the network like kind of see what you're doing. If they're not aware of it and not expecting it, usually they're not too happy about it. Yeah. So use it sparingly, but there are use cases where this stuff comes in handy.
So what do the virtual frames look like?
That one's actually like a like kind of segments. It's kind of like putting an iframe into the page, I believe, and then the floating overlay is just like a div.
So does
that sits
it?
on top of it.
So like, I know we're gonna have to. Our management is very excited about this portion. So do we put in a sets collection of ads, and then the system resizes it to fit whatever?
So the way
We don't want
Yeah.
place dollars. Yeah, that's the RG.
there's a few scripts that exist in the command line that will, I guess this one needs to be updated, but basically what that does, I'll look through that when we have some free time here. Basically it will generate, there's a service in here called a rotator, and this will go through and create, I actually did create these elements. So basically, there's this URN of a particular rotator, a universal resource name. And the way that add overlay is designed to work is that when it detects those specific, basically, we pre-create these like known ad sizes, and then when it detects that, it goes and it pulls this URN, and then it pulls one of the rotatees of that, and then it will insert that payload.
Now, does it do analytics so I can turn to the people that I'm selling the service to? I displayed this ad so many times, or can I get clips from it and stuff like that?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I know we had a discussion a while back about recording when a rotator is viewed. There is,
Because that's what I'm going to have to
so
do.
it's possible that it could be retrieved, because in here we have basically a log of all of the web requests that have hit the RSG. So there would be a request for that content, and we could filter this list and create a report based on that.
Okay.
So it's possible, but it's not as smooth as maybe you're expecting to.
We got to build people.
What, I'm sorry,
We got to build people.
yeah. Yeah, no, I'll be interested to see what you guys end up deploying with that. And we can certainly work with you to make that stuff do what you want and try to help you get there. But like I said, we don't have a ton of people that are utilizing this. It's out there in a couple of places, but
And you can have it turned off and on based on their policies, right?
yep. Any injection or payload rewrite gets tied to a particular policy. When you're in that policy, those rules will be in effect.
300 megabits on that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I think, I don't know if it's still active or not right now. At Atlanta Airport, which is one of our large deployments, they have that in place doing advertisement injections in there. So, yeah, it's out there, but it's just, people are a little more cautious about it.